Alright, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Mikey Will here. Alright, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Mikey Will here. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you take the chance to hit that subscribe button. It means more than you really guys know. In this video, we're wrapping up the 72-volt battery build. We were actually waiting on just this part right here, this lovely 400 amp BMS. This is an amp BMS. For this part, you're going to need a multimeter. You're going to put the negative lead from the multimeter on the negative pole from, not the blue wire, but the black wire from the BMS. And then you're going to take the red wire, the red lead, and put it to the leads that go into the BMS. Like you see, I don't know if you guys see, it's kind of blurry, but the little white lead. And there's a little hole that you can put your little needle in just to test each cell group, just to see if like it's getting enough. So as you guys can see, it's going up from 13 cells to or 17 cells, 20 cells, and you guys can see the pattern, like it's going up like 3 cells at a time. We're at 27 cells, and there's about 11 or 12 battery strings in this one, so it's gonna go up to, it goes up to 37, and then we switch to the next set, and then you go to we get to 41, 44, 48, 51, 55. What are we at now? We're almost in the 60s now. 65, 68, and that was the last string. The last 2 strings are gonna say 68 because it's gonna be 2 positives. Now that we've got a wiring diagram in front of us, I'll show you guys a little bit more so you guys can understand a little bit more. So the charger and the load, basically like a motor, your speed control, whatever you're powering, they both go to the same lead, which is the black wire. This is just like a basic one. I'm not sure what the amperage on this one is, but for most of them, they kind of have lugs on them. Like, I don't know if you guys can see those little silver things. You would cut those off. You solder the 2 pieces to the battery, your battery, like to the black part that you guys can see. And the other part, the blue part, would go to the actual battery, the actual lithium ion cells themselves. And you need to have an NTS sensor, which is just like a temperature sensor, so it allows the battery to charge. Without it, it won't charge. And the other port is for like an LCD screen or any type of like, I guess like UART or something like that. So just like any type of like something that you can connect to a computer and stuff. But let's actually get into the battery strings, because this is the part that's more confusing. So it's basically like your average BMS. You start with the negative. You put the negative on the main negative lead, and then yada yada yada, and then you go through all 20 cells, and it stops at 10. So you would have 11 strings on the one side, and then on the next side you would have 12 strings. And so when you get all the way down to like your 20th cell group, you'll have 1 extra string. And do not panic. You just put the last string to the battery side, positive end as well. And you'll see that a little bit later in the video, and you won't be as confused. But when you first plug in the BMS, it will show a different voltage. You actually do have to set it in the app when you like set that up. So, or if you just set it up on a charger, it works as well. So for like, I don't know if you guys know what a BMS is. You actually wire each one of these wires to each individual cell group. Like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Obviously there's 20 cells in here, so I had to wire 20 individual wires. And technically there's like 22, because there's like extra 2 for like the main positive, main negative, whatever. I'll put the wiring diagram in there and I'll explain that to you guys. But right now, I'm just gonna show you guys how this actually like folded together. This one actually folded over to the right, so this is the top side with a positive lead to it. I don't know if you guys can see. And then the bottom side, which this goes to, these wires, I had to actually cut the lug off and solder them each individually to the negative wire. Negative lead, not lead, pole, I guess, or whatever. And well, you have to plug the negative side in first. Like, you always put the negative side in, because you don't want to plug this in first, because you will mess up the BMS and all the other junk. But that's for another video, for another time. If you guys want to check out my 48 volt battery build video, that is a little bit more in depth of it all. This is just a little quick one. So with the BMS, all the with all the cells, it flows through all of these. Like, it just keeps going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down this way. Do you see like the little bridge? And then it's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Goes through the other bridge, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And you're putting them only on the positive, series. Yeah, only on the positive series lines, not the negatives. Absolutely do not do the negatives. And for 400, this is actually specifically for 400 or anything over 250 amps. We actually just we're having a lot of problems soldering up a positive lead. So what we did, because these are huge, these are 2/0 AWG wires. These things are huge. They're like carved stereo wires. They're freaking huge. We'll talk about the connector a little bit in a second. We had to like literally put 610 AWG wires in a crimp connector just so we can connect it from here to this connector, so we can put it onto that connector. That is a 325 or 350 amp Anderson connector, and there's a couple of videos on how to put these on. They're very simple. Like, it looks more complicated than it really is, and you definitely need these handles. Like, it looks stupid, but you need them because you're really gonna be tugging. Ha. But yeah, you guys can see that I got my regular XT60 for my charge wire and everything else and stuff like that. These are temp sensors. I don't know if you guys see these two. These are temp sensors. There's two of them. The other one's actually right over here. And basically this thing is pretty much done. I actually tested this on the electric quad already. It does turn on. It does work. And this thing is actually a massive battery. I can't wait to actually see what this thing can really do. One thing I forgot to mention is when you connect the BMS and like you plug all these little wires in and stuff, and everything is good. Make sure you, if you have a charger, throw your battery on the charger real quick, just to like activate the BMS. It took me an hour or so just to really figure it out, and I'd rather just tell you guys so you guys have less of a problem. Just throw it on the charger for like literally 2 minutes. The things will turn on, activate. Also, there's also an Ant BMS app on iOS, Apple. It's just called Ant BMS. It works immediately. You just literally like go to the Bluetooth tab, click I don't know, whatever it is, and it literally will say Ant BMS, and then boop boop. It's just like, it's that simple, y'all. So you guys can definitely do the same thing. Definitely check out Ant BMS. This thing definitely puts out some crazy amps, and it's very sleek, slender. So right before this thing goes in the shrink wrap. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you just keep building, y'all. For real. Peace.